everyone, welcome to Fashion Calgary. My name is Anya Basek and I'm here today with one of our 2015 ambassadors for this year campaign, Michelle Minke. How are you, Michelle?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. Michelle, I've always wanted to ask you when and how did your music journey started?
Well, it's quite a long story. I always sang as a kid around the house and grew up in church singing and was brought up in Motown in our family. We were always playing Motown records in our house. And then when I was in high school, I played in the band and joined the choir. And one day my choir instructor pulled me out and said, Michelle, can we hear you after class? And I thought I was in trouble because I stuck out or something. But he said, I think you've got a lot of potential. And I started taking voice lessons and just fell in love with it. And once I was on the stage with Calgary Opera as a chorus member, I knew I had to do this.
Well, and that's why I want to also ask you, when did you know that you actually want to be opera singer?
I was a chorus member with Calgary Opera, and I was standing in the back and I was watching Valdine Anderson. She was a beautiful soprano singing, and I remember thinking, I wonder if I could do that. And I went home and I was practicing and singing all the loudest and highest notes I could, and the way that it felt and the way that I had watched it happening, I just knew that I wanted to do that too.
What was the most challenging moment in your singing career so far?
I think that choosing to be an opera singer and travel the world and experience living out of a suitcase was probably the hardest thing, as well as rejection, lots of rejection. For a soprano such as myself, basically you probably get one thing out of every 100 auditions. So it was a lot of rejection letters and a lot of tears over bottles of wine.
But there are also memorable and satisfying moments. Which one was the most kind of touching one for you?
I have a couple. I definitely enjoyed singing in Italy, underneath the sky in a palazzo that was an old castle. It was a beautiful memory for me. And I love singing in my hometown, Calgary. I love every opportunity I have to sing with Calgary Opera. And singing in the grandstand show 2 years ago at the Calgary Stampede was probably a huge highlight. I was flying over the air above the audience of I think 10,000 people a night. So that was pretty exciting.
And how long does it actually take to prepare for like performance? Because I believe it's different depending on what type of program you're preparing for. But let's say typical opera stage performance, how long does it take to prepare for something like that?
Well, I'm in Magic Flute with Calgary Opera next season in April, and I'm already starting to make sure I'm learning that role and that I'm getting my body all ready for that.
Oh, wow. So it's almost a year?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. Michelle, let's get into Cowtown Opera. That's something I really wanted to ask you because we've been also fortunate to have you on board last year as one of our performers, which we are so grateful for. But tell me, how did the idea of creating Cowtown Opera started, and what is so unique about this group?
Well, when I came home to Calgary, home from Toronto, I really wanted to figure out how I was going to keep singing. And at the same time, I realized so many of my friends had come back and had also done numerous degrees and were singing professionally. And I thought, let's get together and sing. And I think what I wanted to do was to make it a little bit different, to make sure that we were refreshing the idea of opera for people. So Cowtown Opera, you can see us anywhere. We're kind of out on the streets. We are in pubs and restaurants. We're undercover waiters. That might just sing happy birthday to you, and that's kind of our goal, is to make it accessible and to be out there with the Calgarians and to show people operas. There's a lot of great opera singers here.
Yes, and it can be fun actually, because people always think, oh my god, it's so boring. It's not. It's definitely not, especially with your group. And Michelle, that's why I know you've mentioned Italy. I know you've been traveling quite a lot. You've seen and performed in many places, but you still live in Calgary. What do you think about the arts and cultural scene in our city?
I think compared to when I lived here 15 years ago, it is completely different. I think it's so exciting. I'm constantly meeting new people that are expanding our vision of what arts and culture can do in Calgary, and how people are collaborating together and really making arts and culture so vibrant in our city.
Wow. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for saying yes to be part of this year's campaign, and we look forward to see you at the gala this fall.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.